Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 46 of the Talking with the Dad podcast. This evening, we have some good topics. We have a platform that we were going to break into that's getting shut down. We got people's dads making comments about situations. We got fucking political stuff. I'm sorry. And we're going to talk about some games, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Episode 46, Stevie.
There we go.
How was your weekend? How was your weekend?
I mean, I've been on vacation and the whole thing has been pretty, you've been on vacation for a while. My weekend was good, man. Surprisingly good fights this weekend.
Very good.
And, I'm going to say something that normally I wouldn't say. I'm going to tune into a Bellator fight this Friday. But before you people start coming out of the woodworks, right? I am a real MMA fan. Like, I will watch regional circuits, all that stuff. The problem is it consumes too much of my life. I get weird with MMA. Next thing you know, like if I see a guy's careers on the up and up and they were like he was doing no-gi tournaments, I'm looking up the tournaments. I'm that fan. So that's,
This is very true. It is honestly true that Steve will do this kind of stuff. He gets consumed by it.
No, it's just sucked in. But I thought the fights were great this weekend. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a good card. I enjoyed it from start to finish. Did it start late? Did it start at 7 p.m., the prelims?
Yeah, but it was weird because like the main event only had 3 rounds.
And it was only a four fight main card.
Yeah. It was great.
It was very good. I thought every fight was very good.
You could ever want in any event. Like I think it was a record 13 groin shots.
It was a lot. There was a lot of ball taps. 4 fight main card. I thought Bobby Green's striking looked really good. I think I even texted you that. Vicente Luque ruined that poor guy.
Yeah, obviously Vicente Luque he's on the Kamar Usman layaway plan when it comes to championships. In fact, if he wouldn't have lost that fight to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, he might have been in line for a championship shot. But he looked great. Joanne
Calderwood got
bad career.
That was a bad career move fighting this girl. She won very handily, and then obviously the Derek Brunson fight that shouldn't have went into the 3rd round.
Yeah, and apparently Joanne Calderwell also fainted. So that's 2 fighters on the same card that
afterwards, right?
Yeah, she fainted afterwards. Don't know if those things are connected.
Yeah, I have no idea what was going on there with that. One of the main card fighters passed out on the walkout, and they scrapped that fight, so the other fights got pushed up. But yeah, I thought it was good.
You know what else I did this weekend, man? We recently purchased Trolls 1 and Trolls 2 World Tour for our sons, and I've watched those movies at least 30 times. And I got to tell you honestly, in regards to kid movies, these might be my 2 new favorites. The way my wife and I gauge this is, how many times can we watch it in the same day before your eye starts to twitch and you really start contemplating like dark things about the people who made this movie? This movie is actually like hilarious. Like every time I watch it, I notice something else about it that I had not noticed before. And the things are adorable, right? You got Justin Timberlake doing the voice of Branch. Queen Poppy is that one girl from what's that movie with the singing and all that stuff? You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Yes, you do. It's at any rate, that's what we did this weekend. It was pretty great. What'd you do?
You watched Trolls. Well, I did absolutely nothing. It was fantastic.
I know we talk about this, but like, take me through your normal morning on a Saturday, and how is that different from a Monday?
On a Saturday, so I'm up until 4 a.m, making sure the podcast gets up and in the right and appropriate time slots everywhere. And then I wake up about 2 o'clock, go get some buffalo chicken Sammys, come back home. It's about 3:30 now. I eat my sandwiches.
What do you do? Your Chicky Sammys from?
I get my buffalo chicken Sammys from Jake's Wayback Burger. It's very good. It's very good. I get the buffalo chicken sandwich, lettuce, tomato, jalapeno, mayo, and get 2 of them. I get 2 of them. Actually, the last time I didn't get 2, I got 1 with onion rings, and I got the onion rings with buffalo blue cheese, and that's a life changer. I've never had onion rings with buffalo blue cheese before, but holy shit, I had to make like a proclamation to the rest of my family after that. I'm like, you motherfuckers ever make me onion rings without buffalo blue cheese present, we're fighting. So we're looking at about 4 o'clock now. I'm done eating. You know, Saturday there's a YouTube series going on right now with like a bunch of RuneScape guys called Gillinor Games. Very, very good, very high production quality and editing. So I've been watching that. That premieres at like 3 o'clock on Saturdays. So we're at about, I don't know, 4:30 right now. I log into like RuneScape, World of Warcraft. I get my my MMO on. Usually playing both of them at the same time. And then fights start about 6, you know, and that's where I end up from there.
Now, how many arguments would you say you've had via Twitter?
0.
Or Zero?
I don't get in arguments via Twitter. I don't get in arguments via social media. That's beneath me. I don't have time for this stupid shit.
Beneath you? That's that's interesting that you say that. Jake, roll the footage, please.
I don't get in arguments via Twitter, man. I promise.
Anymore.
Never. I never get in arguments via Twitter.
Me at least 3. Oh, let's change the word argument to debates.
I've never been in debates on Twitter. I would need to see proof for this.
Well, I don't. It's not on my phone. You're the one that showed it to me.
I've never shown it. I know, because it's stupid to do that. It takes time out of your day to do nothing. Yeah. Then I watch the fights and play some video games and chill and hang out. That's it.
So usually around. So I'll wake up if it's Friday. I'll wake up like around 8 because my wife.
No, we're talking about Saturday. I just described my Saturday.
So from Friday into Saturday, like my wife will let me sleep into 8 because I'm usually up till like around just short of 1 o'clock, maybe BSing with you after I've done the tags and stuff like that.
Dude, we watched. What was it this Saturday? We watched like an hour worth of all gas no brakes videos. That was amazing.
Dude. I had a hard time sleeping when I went.
Shout out all gas no brakes. Those videos are incredible.
Yeah, I didn't know there was so much hatred in the flat Earth scene.
There's a Venn diagram that I'm drawing there that makes me cry laughing every time I watch it.
But I usually I'll wake up on a Saturday morning. I'm either woken up or I wake up and. Look at everyone, make sure everyone still looks the same way they looked the day before, and then I'll grab my phone and check to see what engagements I have. So usually when I wake up, there's at least 12 debates already roaring on Twitter with me tagged in them, and then I'll scroll through, see which ones are worth my time, and probably disengage from the ones that aren't worth my time. Then I'll do some trolling. On Black Twitter and conservative Twitter. I'll just start. I have another account I use. It's called Woke All the Time.
This is not true, but I'm gonna look it up.
And I just go around and just causing mayhem to about 10 a.m. Then I try to put the phone down and I engage with the family. But that's usually how I do it. Now, if I can get a couple of buffalo chicky sandwiches, what do you call them? Chick-wee sandwiches? What was the
buck and chicken Sammys?
So that sounds like something someone from Wisconsin would say. No disparaging to people in Wisconsin, but it sounds like Midwestern slang, man. That's amazing. I'm gonna try one of these chicken sandwiches. What is this? Way back burger? You said?
Yeah. It's very good. It's by Wendy's.
You know what I miss, man? I miss just getting a nice Ultimate Jack from Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box is disgusting. I've never been to a Jack in the Box where I didn't have an issue with my meal. Whether it was undercooked or overcooked, or
you gotta know where the good ones are, right?
That's fair.
So there's one right in Echo Park on Sunset Boulevard, across the street from what used to be called like the Tropicana Club or Hotel. I don't know what it was. It was a dangerous place, whatever it was. That Jack in the Box, it's in the same parking lot as a CVS, which, by the way, they sell liquor in CVS and L.
That's funny. Yeah, that's good. They might do that in Boston too.
Yeah, they absolutely do. But that Jack in the Box, you get Ultimate Jack there, best customer service. Now, go a little bit further down Sunset to a Jack in the Box. That's like literally a mile away. Worst service, you'll probably get robbed.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I've never been to a Jack. I've been to Jack in the Box like 3 times, and I've had an issue with my meal every time.
You don't get breakfast sandwiches from Jack in the Box. You get the burritos. Anytime someone said to me, "Oh, I'm gonna go get the egg and bacon sandwich," I'm like, "Well, that poor idiot's gonna be on the toilet bowl for like hours."
Oh,
but for some reason, like the scrambled eggs and the burritos, which are nice sized burritos, by the way, delicious, man.
Interesting. You know what I had to eat today? I went to the sub place that I brought you to.
Oh yeah.
So I get my sandwich, right? It's the Italian with everything on it. It's what I always get. And the only place that I know of that sells cheddar horseradish chips. So I get those. They're spicy. They're spicy. You have any sinus issues, man, they'll clear you right up. And man, I go to town on that. And I was in a food coma for like 90% of today. It was amazing.
When I came to at 6 o'clock, I realized half the sandwich was still in my hand. And
no, it was all gone by then. I promise you that.
I went to the place down the road from me the other day to pick up a sandwich for my mother-in-law, and I walked in and had the most awkward thing happen. Only I am aware of how awkward it is, but I had to report it to my wife. So I go to pick up the sandwich. I walk in, and the lady behind the counter turns around, no mask, coughs, like, "Be right with you, sweetheart." And I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, that didn't happen where I was, man. That place that I go to, all have masks on. They all do glove changes in between transactions.
Dude, I'm telling you, the other person that makes sandwiches came in and she didn't have a mask on either. And I'm just looking around and like no one has a mask on in there. And then I instantly realized where I was. So I step out. I'm just like pretending to be on my phone. And I actually call my wife. I'm like, I'm not going to get your mom's sandwich from here.
Oh,
like, just,
man.
I'm like, it seems like a dangerous place. And we had pre-ordered it, but no one, not one person, when I turned around was wearing a mask.
Yeah.
They were all looking at me like I was the crazy person.
Yeah.
So I did the logical thing. I pulled out my Confederate flag and I was like, "Right, brother!" And I like, ran off.
That's amazing. No, but I'm telling you, man, that place isn't half as good as the place that I go to.
No, that place you took me was good, man. That was a crazy night, man. We got to do that again. Yeah, old beer, old whiskey and hoagie.
Man, I couldn't drink that much right now.
I forgot that we drank like what was it, like 14 Guinnesses? Well, not 14 each, but like I had 7, you had 7.
Yeah,
before that, that was like
we had a case. We had a case of Guinness with 6 Guinnesses each, and then actually you might have had 5. I might have had 7, or 6 and 6, whatever it was, and then a full 5th of whiskey. Dude,
also Zach, MMA Zach made that steak that night too. Remember? That was actually like
you're conflating nights, my friend.
No, same night. They were there that night.
No.
Remember? Yes. Search your memory. Know that it's true. Zach and his wife showed up. We weren't there by ourselves watching the fight.
No, man. I don't believe that in the slightest.
No, it's very true.
I'm gonna need proof. No, because I remember your wife being there for this day because he cooked too.
No, my good brother. This is great. Usually your memory's like way off point. That's how blurred that night was. I remember thinking that.
Was that the Amanda Nunes night?
No, that I can't even tell. I don't even remember what fight it was.
Because I can look up the footage. It's in this camera right here. It's in this camera.
Is that the camera you used to record? I thought it was the new camera.
No, it was this one. I hadn't gotten the new camera yet. I don't remember where the memory card is in this boy.
So you got some.
Oh, it's not in there. Holy shit!
You know what I noticed that didn't make its way onto the topics was the very thing we were debating before the show.
I don't care. So
I care.
We'll talk about it. Sony is exclusively having Spider-Man in the Avengers A-Day fucking game. I don't think it's fair. Steve likes the idea. He's foaming at the mouth for the idea, honestly. And I just thought it was bad business practice.
So, all right, let's quantify this. This is actually a rumor that's been buzzing around for a little while. This is the epitome of what exclusive content means. Like, Sony obviously owns the rights to Spider-Man in the film, and they own the gaming rights, I believe, as well, too. So they were able to do this. They're able to pull this off and have him as a DLC character in the Avengers A-Day game.
I don't think it's a DLC. I just think he's an additional character that you don't get on Xbox. I wouldn't consider it a DLC.
I mean, even if he's an additional character, and this is what I was telling you before off air, was that this is not the first time I've seen stuff like this. It's happened with Mortal Kombat. It's happened with other games that have come out on PlayStation versus Xbox. Soul Calibur, I believe, was one of the famous.
So there
ones.
has been games before that you're telling me right now that have released on both consoles and have different content on each.
Yep, Soul Calibur, the one for PlayStation, one of them had Kratos from God of War. He was not in the Xbox version.
Okay, I'll give you that. But it was also let's see, Soul Calibur. Which one?
Oh my God, it's been so many. Just look up Soul Calibur, Kratos.
Soul Calibur Kratos.
Kratos. I mean, it just happened.
Did they have But was there also a version where So this is also on the fucking PSP, dude. There wasn't a handheld Xbox.
Hold on for a second. You obviously looked at the wrong one because this was a console game.
First, there were Link, Spawn, and Hachi. Whatever. It doesn't. I was just seeing the version here that's on PSP. Now, when Kratos released, did they release a different character on the Xbox series, or did they just not release Kratos on the Xbox?
They just did not release Kratos on the Xbox.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Soul Calibur Broken Destiny, or the PSP version, which didn't release on an Xbox. So, yeah, man. I see. Thanks for proving my point here. I think it's bad, right? I think if I'm paying $60 for the game on Xbox, I should at least at the base, have the same content that the PlayStation version has, right? If you want to sell a $10 extra so you can play Spider-Man in the game on PlayStation, I'm fine with that. But when I pay $60 for a game, right?
Yeah.
I want us both to get the same game, right?
So here's the problem with that. That would make sense if it wasn't exclusive content for the PlayStation.
Sure, I get this, but by base game, right?
But
I want the $60 game that I pay for on Xbox to be identical to. I want it to be identical to the one that they sell on the PlayStation. And if you want to pay $5 extra on the PlayStation, you get Spider-Man.
So at least you preface this with the exact right wording, which is right?
Which this I'm a consumer, right? And to me,
right,
this is what seems to be fair.
Right, but you're a consumer of one specific commodity. Now, if you have a PlayStation and an Xbox, then this is not an issue. But if you just have an Xbox, then you don't get mad when Spider-Man doesn't release on Xbox, do you? Some people did. Some people were furious that the Spider-Man game didn't release on Xbox.
But this is not a good argument for me, right? If we were talking about let's use Call of Duty for example, right? Call of Duty got on PlayStation got exclusive to some survival game mode on PlayStation that was with the base game, right? They even built it into all the other games. That I didn't care about, because it turns out that the survival game mode was garbage and it wasn't important to the multiplayer, the story, the overall experience of the game, right? But say your parents bought you an Xbox, right? You have to imagine this from the idea of like a 15-year-old, right? That doesn't have a job. Your parents buy you an Xbox, all your friends are on Xbox, your favorite superhero is Spider-Man. You get this fucking game, you didn't hear about this, and you're trying to play Spider-Man and you can't, right? That's upsetting, right? But
upsetting, yes. Does that make it wrong? No.
I think it does, right? I think if you're including more content for the same price in the same game, I think that's unfair.
I mean, so that's subjective, but we're using the correct words to describe it. Like, if it's your opinion, obviously that's that's correct for it being your opinion. For it being business practices, this is just another reason why Sony's able to do this and able to promote. This is why you should buy our console.
Yeah, but I get that, but it's one character in one game that Sony has on the edge right now, right? Xbox has the better hardware. They're going to have Halo, right? And then all the other games and Forza versus all the other games that PlayStation has, right? I think Xbox has the better exclusives, and I think Xbox might be the better console.
But so it has the better specs.
For sure.
To say that it has the better exclusives, again, that really depends on the consumer and the consumption of this consumer. Sure. Because there are games that are coming out exclusively for the PlayStation 5. That's enough just for diehard Sony fans or just regular Sony fans to say this is why I'm committed to it. Like, most people who play on Xbox are not going to miss the fact that they're not going to get to play God of War 6 because they're like,
they've
I'm a
never
Halo
played
fan.
it. Right. They've never played it.
And just like a lot of Sony players are like, I don't give a crap about Halo because I just don't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's niche to it. I get what you're saying. I just think that and 100%, I get what you're saying. I want to acknowledge it. Like, that would be that would bum me out, especially if let's say I was playing on PC, someone that doesn't even deserve to get screwed over in this whole thing.
Well, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
When this game comes out on PC, you're not going to be able to play Spider-Man.
Yeah, I know. That's well, stop being a poor person, buy a PlayStation. But here's what I'm saying, right? Here's what I'm saying, though, right? The best thing about this is, yet again, it shows you that marketing is king, right? Because, like, I was really, when I say worried, I wasn't actually worried, but I was thinking, like, man, how is Sony going to come back from this? Clearly, they're going to be the loser this year of this. Sure. And again, they pull another shrewd business move. They're like, and by the way, even though our relationship is very tumultuous with Marvel Studios, we were able to negotiate this because that
Sure.
was something people were trying to figure out from the gate, because this is technically a different universe than the MCU,
Sure.
but still under the Avengers 8A game. It's still under the Marvel banner, which means at some point, Mantis, I'm sure you're watching this. Correct me if I'm wrong. At some point, this flows through the realm of Kevin Feige and the boys. And so they made another good decision based off of that. And this just kind of pulls Sony and Marvel a little bit closer together. It does suck for Xbox fans. I'm sure they're going to do something, though. I don't know what character they could do that would be exclusive to
Master
Xbox.
Chief. Put Master Chief in the game.
Nobody wants that.
Everyone wants Master Chief and everything, Steve.
Nobody wants to see that block character running around.
Why? Because he beat up all the fucking superheroes?
Actually, you know, this is a great fan-made, very popular channel on YouTube. They do famous versus battles, and they had Captain America versus Master Chief, and it was a fan, so the fans voted up. Captain America handily beat
They clearly didn't send this out to all the Microsoft fans.
Unfortunately, none of their emails are working because they can't remember the password.
I'm glad you got that. Yeah, my issue is that if they include it with the base price, I think it's unfair because you're getting more for your $60 on the PlayStation side than you are on the Xbox side. If they want to sell it as a DLC character, I'm fine with that. If they want to sell it as a DLC story based around Spider-Man, I'm fine with that. But
it's gonna suck though. I've come to the conclusion that this and the game, the Avengers game, which I am buying. I'm buying. I'm getting.
Are you
getting
it on PC or no?
I'm thinking about getting it on PC, but the only reason I would get it on PlayStation is so I can play it with my oldest, because this is his purview. But there's no way this game isn't bad in my mind, or at least doesn't live up to the hype. You can't even understand the amount of content on YouTube that's been made from the same preview video and the same demo video.
Dude, I've been around for Call of Duty previews, man. I totally understand the level. There are 40-minute videos breaking down a 40-second trailer. Right.
Yes.
And if you see on this frame right here, you could see this foot, and this foot indicates to me that fucking Black Widow is going to be in it or some shit. Right. Like,
dude, it's insane. And so the hype is real, right? Sure. And they postponed the game to get some of the, but they didn't really listen to fans on this. People had an objection to the way some of the characters look. So they were like, all right, full stop. Let's clean that up. Some people had a problem with some of the mechanics, if I remember correctly. So they've done everything they can to be as fan friendly in this game. I just don't think it's going to live up to our expectation. It might actually be a really good game, right? It might objectively be a good game, but subjectively with gamers, as you know, this is probably course to fail in a massive way.
Okay.
But we'll see, man. I'll be playing it. I was thinking about, I know you're going to laugh at this. I was actually thinking about not streaming it, but recording it like I used to do for my old Lord of the Rings game, and just putting it up on that other YouTube channel, because that's how much I'm looking forward to playing this game.
Okay. Yeah, you're definitely excited about it. I've definitely not. Somehow this popped into my news feed at some point today, and I texted you about it.
I like that. That means I'm encouraging you. I'm rubbing off on you.
No, you are not, sir.
Not in a Joe Biden way, right?
It's disgusting.
Someone sent me a meme, and they were like, "What amount of money, or what amount of trust would it take you to leave your child alone, your eldest female child of age, alone with Joe Biden or Donald Trump?" And I'm like, there is no money that would make me feel safe to have either one of those dudes around my child.
$1 billion?
Huh? $1 billion? No, it's not. It's my child we're talking about. It's like, not even for a second. Like, I can't even imagine. Could you imagine Joe Biden just coming up behind you and then forgetting why he's standing behind you? Imagine how jarring that would be. He's like, where am I?
He could do that to me every day for $1 billion. He doesn't have many days left on this planet, to be fair. Fucking old Joe. So
I'm starting to think that you're going to be his VP pick pretty soon here.
Dude, listen, Joe. You want me in there, my friend? I got you. I'm gonna have to delete all of my YouTube channels.
Oh man, did you hear about? We're about to go, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to go way off the rails right now. Trump appointed some guy to some position in the Pentagon that was being considered for some other military position. And this guy, when they came up with the term boomer, he is literally a boomer, but his response to what was about to happen is also very boomerish.
Okay.
So knowing that people scour your Twitter and your Facebook just looking for anything, he thought that just simply hitting delete was good enough on a lot of old tweets, not understand that those tweets are a part of the ether now. So when they came back up, he has made every claim that's possible to make, and all the best ones too. He claimed that Obama was a Taliban sleeper agent, and actually put this up while he was serving under this president.
Wow.
It was amazing, but don't worry about it. Trump took care of it. Couldn't get him in that position, got him into the Pentagon, so we can all sleep easily. I'll send you.
I'm sure Trump doubled down on that one. I'm sure. That's
what's going on with the PS4 controllers.
So the PS4 controller is going to be compatible with the PS5,
right?
But only on games that are backwards compatible with the PS4.
That makes no sense.
Right. I thought so too. I put that in there as like a little fun one here. So if you buy a game that came out on the PS5, it will not work with your PS4 controller. So everyone who owns a Scuff will have to put up another $180 to buy the next generation of Scuff controllers.
Yeah.
It's absurd. I don't know why you would add this feature then. Just say you fucking can't use it.
Again, I gotta think that somewhere in the boardroom there was someone that spoke up and they were like, "Get him out of here. We're gonna use some of what he said, but we're not gonna use all of it." People want their fucking
poor Billy the intern over
like,
at Sony Interactive.
They're like, they want to use their old controllers and they can use it if it's backwards compatible. So they're finally confirming that it is backwards compatible
to the games that to PS4. Yeah, they've already said that, and to games that were already backwards compatible, like PS3 to PS4, right? So like they had released games on the PlayStation Store that were from the PS3 that you could play on the PS4. So those games will still now be able to play on the PS5, but you can't I can't pop a PS3 disc in and fucking go to town on Modern Warfare 2.
Oh, man, PS3 was my jam, man. This is my jam.
PS3 was the last good console.
I don't know about that. Now you're talking crazy.
What has been better since?
You're a troll. You know that? You're drinking your troll beers.
What has been better since? What has been better since?
Obviously Soldier Boy.
You can't tell me that if you look at the PS3 from beginning to end of life, and the games that came out on the PS3 were
by far the best launch with games. Yes,
but but over its entire generation, right? The PS4 and Xbox One had a bad launch. They had good games, right? But from the beginning of PS3 to the end of PS3, you can't tell me that there's a better generation of gaming.
I'm trying to think, man, because it's like when I think about the PS3 and when it released and the games that were coming out, I was already like gassed for God of War 3. So, yeah, because God of War came out on the PS2, believe it or not. That's crazy.
Like the entire Uncharted series was on the PS3. A lot of people loved them, man. A lot of people loved them. Grand Theft Auto 5, Grand Theft Auto 4, the Batman Arkham series.
Amazing.
Portal 2. A shitload of the Assassin's Creed games, a bunch of the Metal Gear games, Infamous, the original Last of Us, Elder Scrolls 5. I'm just looking at some of like the top games. I'm not even like listing all the other ones.
Arguably the most competitive Street Fighter scene on PS3.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you also get the generation from COD 4 to like Black Ops 2, Ghost, something like that. Dark Souls 2 came out on it. A lot of people think that was one of the better ones. A lot of the BioShock games, Far Cry 3, Dead Space 2. Like these games are all incredible, man.
Dude, it's amazing how many games there were on the PS3 compared to 4.
But that genre, that era of games was the best, man. You got Fallout 3, Killzone, the Killzone 2. Oh my god, such a great game. Mass Effect. San Andreas might have been pre PS3. I'm like looking at games here now. But like, dude, you gotta think about that era of games. That is the best era of games, in my opinion. Right now, we're in a bit of a drought, but
I'm trying to think if there's anything that came out on the PlayStation 4. I mean, obviously, other than the new God of War game, there was that.
Last of Us 2.
Shadow War, Shadow of Mordor. These were all very anticipated games. The Last of Us. Last of Us 2. Then there was what else? There was another game everyone was creaming over for the PlayStation 4.
The Last of Us. That was it. Yeah. That's it, man.
a lot of in between games. Oh, UFC.
3. UFC 2 is out on the PS3.
True, very great game. But the addition with John Jones and Gustafson on it,
Yeah,
that was. I think that's actually the best UFC game.
That was like undisputed. No, maybe it wasn't. But
you have a PlayStation, correct?
Yes.
I'll give it to you, man. You can check it out.
UFC?
Yeah,
I have
that
it.
one. No, you don't.
Oh, okay. Maybe I don't. The original Red Dead Redemption, which is the better of the two in my opinion, came out on the PS3.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh, it did. Holy
smokes. Man.
That's right.
Yeah. MAG. Do you know what MAG is?
No.
Oh my God, Steve, you're such a fucking boomer. MAG is this game. You could look it up. It was insane, right? It was made by the people who made SOCOM. It was made by Zipper Interactive, but it was multiplayer, and it was like 150 people on 150 people on multiplayer on the PS3, and it was really fun. Actually, it was a really, really fun game.
What was the game about?
It was just a shooter.
Oh, it was a shooter. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And it was massive, 150 on 150. It was insane. And it was.
Is it like that cutting edge new exclusive shooter called SOCOM?
No, it was made by the same people.
Oh, really?
It was made by Zipper Interactive. It's literally what I just said that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was made by the same people. No, it was a lot of fun. It was third person, if I remember correctly.
There were a lot of good racing games on the PS3 too, if I remember.
The
correctly.
Gran Turismo 5 or 6, whatever one came out on the PS3 for like a launch title, was very good. Forza beats Gran Turismo in my opinion, though. I think Forza is the better racing series.
You can play Forza on PC, can't you?
Yes, now you can,
yeah.
but you couldn't back in this era.
No, listen, man, it's time to let it go, right? It's time to let it go. The PS3 had its day, man. You know, it was a really sad day in gaming where I actually got to see, and I don't mean this sarcastically, but when you got to see nostalgia die and people were just like, "Oh man, that sucks," but no one was really doing it. Were you on Facebook when Sony made the big announcement, like, "Hey, today's the day we're finally cutting the PS2 servers," and then out of nowhere, people were just like, "No." And I'm like, who is still using these servers? I'm like,
a lot of SOCOM players, a lot of old SOCOM players were playing it still on the PS2.
Really?
Yeah, it was absurd. There's still a way to do it. There's still like some weird link way. Yeah, you could do it, but no, I remember it. I probably remember talking about it, about the PS2 not being a thing anymore, and how it had been around for so long. It was such an iconic console. But no, I've never really used Facebook, so.
Oh, yeah, I don't use Facebook. I've
been using it daily. You send me links to Facebook things daily.
Not me. Not true. Must be some other guy.
Okay.
Who has the same last name, dude. This is stupid, and it's not a stupid topic. This is stupid on Sony's part, right? So just as I was praising them on their business acumen in one part of this show, now I got to condemn them on the other. Like, this was a bad move. This is something that your research and market team should have locked down, which is knowing what our audience wants. And I think at this point, every Sony consumer wants one thing. If it's going to be backwards compatible, fine. Just let us know that. And if I can use my old controller, I should be. Now, this is where I use the word I feel that my PS4 controller should 100% work with the new generation console, because I know for a fact that the old Xbox controller will work with the new Xbox. So this doesn't make sense to me. Like, this is nonsensical. Like,
yeah, I don't think you should be able to use your old controller on the new console. I think you should have to buy a new I think you should have to buy a new controller. To be fair, every time I upgrade my PC, I have to buy a new keyboard and mouse. So I feel like it should be that way. No, you absolutely have to. The USB ports go bad after you unplug it for the first time. So I feel like you should have to buy a new controller.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing is the pettiest side.
No, you know what? I think the PS5 controller might have more features than the PS4 controller had. Right. Yeah. And if that's true, then you shouldn't be able to use the PS4 controller with the PS5 games. You wouldn't be able to experience it fully. That's my opinion.
So the one thing we know for a fact that the PS5 controller is not going to have is that not stupid. I actually didn't bother me. The light on the back, which did consume a lot of battery on the PS4 controller. You know, the light pad. Do you have a PS4 controller in front of you, man? There's like literally a gray spot where lights come out.
Oh, that guy. Dude, I don't know the last time this thing was on. Like, I don't remember there being a light. I hold it like this, Steve. I can't see.
I know you're going all crazy claw finger on him and stuff. Did you just break it?
It definitely cracked.
Coming after you, man. But so that's not going to be there. We're getting rid of the micro USB, which no one's
USB-C, right?
Yeah, USB-C.
That's
and
perfect.
Then, instead of share, you'll get a create button. I was actually watching someone do something that you hate today on YouTube, man. But it was
positively reviewing consoles.
No, so it was the best iteration of the thing. he was streaming from his PlayStation 4 onto YouTube, but it was the best picture quality of him or anyone that's ever done this I've ever seen. I was like, this is amazing. I wanted to type in his chat like, hey man, you obviously went through a lot setting this up correctly.
No, there's no setup for it. There's no setup for it. You just hit go live and it just fucking goes live.
Why does everyone else's I've ever seen look?
They have shitty internet.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, your quality on Twitch is directly related to how good your internet is.
No. I'm talking about when you're going live from your PlayStation.
Right. I mean, that's directly like I have a really sick setup, right? My setup is worth thousands of dollars. And if I have bad internet, what?
Where do you live again since you have thousands of dollars?
Yeah, over there. But if I have bad internet that day, my picture's going to be choppy and pixelated, and it's not going to help. It's all based on the internet, man. The better your internet is, the better your stream is going to be.
What's the latest game that just came out on PlayStation? Everyone's playing with the samurais. What's that called again?
No fucking clue.
It's like something Tushami or something like that.
Yeah, so just by that, I would not probably like the game.
Yeah, he was streaming that today. Now, actually, I can be honest with you, even with the low frame rate, which by now is very noticeable to my eyes, I was like, man, this game is just it looks good, but it's slow but clunkish. But man, I gotta tell you honestly, man, like he was doing it and like people were commenting inside that weird PlayStation chat bubble that's there. Like,
I hate that thing, dude. I hate it. I hate it.
I don't understand why he was doing this. Like, but then who am I to scoff at this man? Like, hey, by the way, if you simply just invested $1,200 into a decent,
not even $800, you're good. That's exactly what it's going to cost you to buy the next gen consoles.
No, it's $650.
Man, we differ on this a little bit. I think it's $800, but also Sony this week on Thursday, I think. So we'll have it for the next episode or the next episode. Is having a state of play conference. So I'm assuming we're going to get an even worse Xbox. That Xbox conference was really bad. I can't imagine PlayStation's is any better.
They've been killing it at the conferences. I mean, except for the whole where they had a geek come up and he's like, so this is how a teraflop works. And everyone's like, are we going to get any game content today?
Yeah, I think it's probably the launch titles for the PlayStation aren't any better than the Xbox, I think.
I disagree. Actually, here's the crazy thing, right? As I look at people's reaction to the Xbox thing, I think it might just be that we're pseudo elitists. People who are actually looking forward to this console weren't that disappointed with the Xbox.
So these people are casuals, Steve. This is what they call casuals. These are the people who play video games an hour a night just to make fucking review. Are you talking about IGN? Are you looking at IGN? Have you ever seen the IGN review of SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, Steve? Have you ever seen this review?
Hold on for a second. Anywhere they prop up an attractive woman to pull you in, I don't watch their reviews.
Those are the only reviews that I watch.
No, these are try-hard Xbox fans, man.
Yeah, there are no try-hard Xbox fans. All the Xbox players have always sucked at games. They've always been awful. Anyway, back to my Battle for Bikini Bottom point. Do you know what this game is? It's a SpongeBob game, right? It was made when I was a kid, and I played it when I was a kid, and they just remastered it, right? So the IGN guy is trying to review it, and there's like you get like a move with SpongeBob where you throw a bowling ball, but he moves forward like 4 steps when you throw it, and you have to stand on a pressure pad and throw the ball into the little target to unlock the door, right? And any common-brained, non-smooth-brained person would stand behind the pad and he would walk forward the 3 steps onto the pad and throw the ball into the marker. But no, the guy complained for 10 minutes during his review that he couldn't figure it out because he would just stand on the pad, he would walk forward 3 steps off of the pad, and then throw the ball into a closed-off objective. Fuck IGN.
They do have some of the best reviews on comic
The
books.
worst. They're the worst.
You know what's crazy though about this whole wait, no, I'm gonna go back to my original point. You're not gonna don't let me go off on a
Holy shit,
tangent
dude.
about
They both have
SpongeBob.
booty cheeks fucking launch
Listen,
titles.
the PS4 what's it called? State of Play. I think there are gonna be people who really enjoy it. I actually think that Sony is watching the mistakes that Microsoft makes, at least with the marketing and stuff like that. And it's gonna be a better conference. A lot of this stuff sucks anyway, given the climate that we're in. These things really, really rely on a live audience.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
No,
you know
I know exactly what you mean. It's like concerts rely on a live audience too. Concerts are really boring if you're the only person there.
Yeah, it looks weird. I watched one of those YouTube live streams of a DJ spinning, and I was like, man, this music is really good. But
there's no one here.
Yeah, this is very odd. And there are people in the chat like, yeah. And I'm like, no, it's just not the same thing, man.
It's like you can't trip at home and have a good time. You should.
I'm sure some of them were. Some of them were, by the way they were typing.
They were just spamming chat.
But no, the exclusives are going to be good, I think, for the PlayStation. Like we already know what we're going to get, and it's going to be.
But it's Gran Turismo, right? Like, what are the other exclusives?
It's going to be Gran Turismo. There's now you're gonna make me pull up.
I just don't think there's that many exclusives. PlayStation in general doesn't have that many exclusives.
That's not true at all.
They have Killzone, which they haven't announced, right? They have the SOCOM franchise, which they haven't announced the new game. They have Jack and Daxter, I think is a PlayStation exclusive, which they've announced a remake of, but I don't care about remakes anymore. Ratchet and Clank also might be a PlayStation exclusive, which we're probably going to get another remake of. But they don't. Gran Turismo, which I actually enjoy Gran Turismo, but it's not.
Here's the weird thing, right, about this, and you actually brought me to something I was thinking about. I don't know why they released the Ghost of Tsushima or whatever the name of the game is at the end of this last console's life cycle. Like that would have seemed like something they would release with the PlayStation 5. But
you know, my friend, I've explained this to you before, right? You have to look at it at the idea of this game has been in development for 5 years, right?
I get that, but it doesn't take much to delay it and port it over to the 5.
Sure, but you could delay it, but then now you have a port, right? How many times have we seen issues with, especially on PC, with games that were ported over? We could look at Halo for an example, right? Halo is awful. It's fun. No, I'm not the only person that has the same issue, but it's awful on the PC because it's made for a controller. Right, and it's not made in conjunction controller, keyboard, and mouse. It's made for a controller and it's ported over. So ports are bad. You know, I would rather them, instead of having to stop cycling through the development and switch over to a new development platform, and just continue it and then work on it afterwards.
Here's what we got for
I pulled it up as well.
Godfall,
don't care.
Grand Blue Fantasy versus.
That sounds awful.
Street Fighter Championship Edition. I don't know why that's on there.
Yeah, sounds. Is Street Fighter on both?
It can be. No, so this one might be exclusive to PlayStation.
Okay. Well, let's look at true PlayStation exclusives, right? Gran Turismo, Horizon Forbidden West, which the Horizon Zero Dawn's out on PC now, so you can't even say it's an exclusive anymore, right? Yeah. It's just going to delayed to PC, I'm sure. You got the Spider-Man game, which you're super excited about. Thousands of people, millions of people are excited about it. I can't discredit that whatsoever. Ratchet and Clank, and fucking Sackboy, which is a new version of Little Big Planet. Which Little Big Planet was fun, but
that game is amazing. It's eerie and it's weird, and it should not have been marketed as a kids game.
Little Big Planet?
Yeah.
No, that's a kids game, my friend. You're running around as a little sock puppet doing some fun stuff.
Yeah, I know. There's like, if you pay close attention, next time you play,
I'm never gonna play it again.
There were some undertones in that game that were very, very dark for children to be exposed to. That's all I'm saying.
Those are put there because children won't realize them, and the parents will, and it makes the parents have fun. It's like, have you ever seen like all the inside jokes or like all like the jokes that kids wouldn't get in like kids shows? They're there for the parents, you know?
Yeah, like SpongeBob. Definitely
SpongeBob is fucking hilarious.
We don't even let our kids watch it.
They're too young.
Yeah.
I didn't start watching it until I was like 11.
Everyone's too young for SpongeBob. There was another show prior to that called Ren and Stimpy. Another show.
Ren and Stimpy is not a children's show. That's a children's show as much as a South Park is a children's show.
Dude, it's amazing that they got away with that. For years in my generation, that thing was
hilarious. Invader Zim too.
Yeah,
that was also not a children's show.
Yeah, it was about mass genocide.
Demon Souls is getting a re-release onto the PS5, but there's like 7. There are 7 exclusives here, right?
How many? It's gonna be great.
There's like 7 here and 9 or something on fucking Xbox. It's neither of them are having a good showing, is what I'm saying, right? I'm not saying Xbox is any better than PlayStation. I'm just saying that they don't have anything to show. Now with this new announcement, they could come in and announce a new Killzone or something that would have piqued my interest. I wouldn't buy it, but it would at least get me excited for it. But
were you a big Killzone guy?
I enjoyed it. It was fun, for sure. But as of right now, man, neither of these consoles truly have the substance to support the price tag that they're going to have.
You know what's the worst game on earth, man?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Borderlands 3.
I'd rather play Borderlands 3 than Modern Warfare.
I was thinking back to
100,000 times over. I'd rather be stuck in the Borderlands world than ever have to play Modern Warfare again.
I can think of something else you would rather not do. You'd probably play Borderlands 3 before you ever open a TikTok account. But
I never had a TikTok account. I honestly, we mulled over the idea of opening a Talking with a Dad TikTok account. I don't know how well we would do on TikTok. I feel like we're not 13-year-old girls.
I don't know if a guy my age is supposed to be on TikTok. That's the thing.
Hold on. I don't know if a guy my age should be on TikTok.
I know people do dances, right? They do TikTok dances. It seems like a place where like
TikTok is Musical.ly. Do you remember Musical.ly?
Yes.
This is an app. TikTok took over Musical.ly. So it took on that persona of doing dances to songs or like little funny things. Really, what should have happened is years ago, Twitter never should have shut down Vine. Vine was amazing, right? And that's what we need back is a Vine.
Isn't it kind of back now or something like
that?
There's
an app called Byte, which the creators of Vine made, although the one that didn't die. They made Byte, but Byte never took off. I have a Byte account. I don't know what my fucking name is on it, but I made waffles on it as a video. I thought that was pretty funny, but it was me humor, you know? It was me humor. It wasn't great. I just made waffles and then looked at the waffles and yelled, "Waffles!"
8 times. And you're like, oh,
this guy's weird, strange. Yeah, I don't know. It was just fun. But TikTok is getting banned in the US, right? Just like we are eventually. TikTok is gone. Now, if you guys don't know, the controversy with TikTok is that it steals a lot of your information. And you're like, well, everything steals your information. But this steals it to a scary point.
Right.
It was pulling serial numbers off of... Yeah, it was pulling serial numbers off of routers. And that's how deep of information they can get onto. So that makes me think if you can pull a serial number off a router, you could easily pull MAC addresses off of every device that's in the house and easily probably even access MAC addresses on most devices in the house. So, you know, that's scary. That's a lot. And it's owned and controlled by the Chinese government. So that makes it even more scary. You know,
that's for all you Valorant players.
You know, us at Talking with Dad, we're a pro-China podcast. Us as a pro-China podcast, we don't mind it, but we would never subject ourselves to that kind of scrutiny. Now, here's the thing. TikTok gets banned or doesn't get banned, right? Microsoft might swoop in and buy TikTok here, but if Microsoft buys it, it's pretty much as good as banned. It'll be around for another 6 months, and Microsoft will run it into the ground, and there won't be any more TikTok. So either way, within the next year, TikTok will be gone, I assume.
So also, here's another thing. If Microsoft buys it, right? Forget everything that Trump says that they got to pay him a tax. Not him. They got to pay the Fed a tax or the Treasury a tax because they basically
never fucking happen.
I'm like, that's not even a thing. That's legal.
Like, yeah.
Forget all that.
That's extortion.
That's exactly what it is. Forget all that noise. So, as Zach was explaining, all your information on TikTok is 100% being routed to the Chinese Communist government, right? So, if Microsoft buys it, guess who will be in control of your information this time?
The U.S.
Microsoft. Microsoft is now going to have a general monopoly on your information. I think me and Zach did a brief topic on this once where we don't even realize how much stuff Microsoft has their fingers in. Most of your favorite retailers, they use POSs that have Microsoft that have Windows 10 on them.
Yeah.
Most of the servers you use at work have Windows Server on there or some iteration of it. It's very rare where you have someone using a Linux server-based program to run off.
I work in IT and I've experienced very little Linux servers, and those Linux servers are propped up, used for that specific thing, and then generally taken down fairly quickly.
Yep. And so Microsoft will have all your information. I agree with Zach 100% that they're going to run this thing into the ground. I don't see how, and this is where this sucks for people who are doing content creation. I guess that's what you want to call it, who have a huge following on TikTok, because there are those people and they're making money off of TikTok.
Lots of money.
They're going to now have to find, and I'm not talking about the ninjas or the Tims and stuff like that. We're talking about people who blew up organically on TikTok.
On TikTok, yeah.
They're going to have to find another platform to do their weird stuff on and make their money. Now that sucks, but I'm not mad at this decision. I'm not mad at this. Let's not forget the Sony hack, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Some of you, like this stuff, it gets weird, man.
Now here's the thing, right? This is where little IT knowledge comes into handy. If you're one of these TikTok peoples and you live in the US, right, and it gets banned in the US, that is not a big deal to you. Because you download a VPN on your phone, you put the VPN in fucking Europe, and now you have access to TikTok again. Let's be fair.
There's a thing. I have to go back and check it to make sure I understood it correctly, and I'll send it to you. But apparently TikTok was disabling VPNs as well.
Holy shit, that's even more scary. Like, that's even more scary. If that's actually true, that's absurd.
Allegedly is what I'll leave it. But I'm pretty sure with the hour-long video I was watching about this whole subject, like I tuned back in, they were like, yeah, and it was also bypassing people's VPNs. And the point of having a VPN,
that's insane.
To protect yourself from
essentially, if you have a VPN, you shouldn't be able to differentiate between your VPN and what you're normally using.
So, and that's the really scary part.
That's incredible.
So I'm not mad at this decision, right? And we gotta protect our interests and our businesses somehow. And this is one of those things where
the citizens. We should be protecting the people, not the fucking businesses.
First. No, when I say our businesses, I mean like I'm also thinking about the small businesses.
No. The people. The people are the most important.
Businesses are made of people. They're not made of cats, right? There are people running the businesses. That's what I'm talking about. Well, maybe there's some businesses run by cats, but as far as I know,
my cat could not run a business. Your
cat is adorable, man. On those donuts, that's like some.
that was a full. I'm not going to edit the picture into here because it's going to be just going to be too much work. But so if you've ever seen. If you've ever seen like a dozen donuts, like a box of a dozen donuts from anywhere, really, you get like this like fucking 2 foot long box. My cat was laying on it and covered the entire thing. I didn't realize like how big, and he's the smallest of the cats. He's the smallest cat that we have.
Huge. I had a friend who had a cat named Biggie Smalls. Huge, massive cat, imposing. But I digress. This is. I thought you were kind of crazy when you were talking to me about the Valorant thing. I was like, oh no, Zach's starting to become one of those guys. China's creeping around every corner, and now I realize like. And then when I think about it, there's a lot of stuff on the Google Play Store as well that you should be very, very suspicious of.
Everything made by Tencent.
Yeah,
which is everything.
Everything. In fact, I'm going back to a flip phone. It's the only way to stay.
You know what? I have mine right here, and we're moving back tomorrow. Tomorrow we're flipping back over and make a few phone calls.
Popping the SIM in there. Yeah, it's scary stuff. But let's see what Microsoft decides to do, because I believe Trump says they have to something in October to buy it. It looks like they may close the deal on this thing. But yet again, what are they going to do with it? Microsoft makes worse decisions than Google. So they'll purchase this.
Dude, it would be hard. If I were the head of Microsoft, and I'm looking at buying TikTok, which I think is a good acquisition for Microsoft, right? Yeah. They have the server infrastructure. You know, they have more money than anyone fucking else, right?
Right.
TikTok right now is a huge platform.
Commodity.
It is the biggest social media platform in existence right now, right?
Wow.
It has the most views monthly, everything. It's huge. You buy it and you leave it alone. You go, here you go. We'll provide the server infrastructure. Keep making your stupid fucking videos. That's it. That's all you have to do. Dude, if I was Microsoft and like I was in front of the board and I walk in, right, and I'm just flat out off of a Coke binge, and I walk in and I'm like, we're buying TikTok, and they're like, and obviously all the 90-year-old boomers that are on the Microsoft board are like, what's a TikTok? And you're like, exactly, and you won't have anything to fucking do with it. And then I walk out.
See, the problem is I don't think there are enough 90-year-old boomers on the board that would make a decision like, we're just going to stay out of this. Like, there's too many.
Dude, this is a good buy, man. This is a fucking cash cow.
Too many young, hip people. Have you ever watched any of the Microsoft upper echelon conference videos? Oh my goodness. There's a guy that wears a fedora. So one of the things, anywhere there's a man wearing a fedora.
Microsoft Corporation Overview Board of Directors. Yeah, these are all old people. These are all old people. All old white people.
Oh, my favorite people. So as long as they're running it, it's going to be fine. Because they're not going to want anything to do with it. They're going to hear words like bottom line, how are we making money off of this? Now, that might be the hardest.
I think you can make a lot of money off of TikTok.
Could you imagine trying to explain to one of those old boomers? They're like, so are we charging people? You're like, no, we don't charge people. We charge the advertisement. They're like, what do we charge the people? No, I'm trying to tell you, we don't charge the people. The people bring in the advertisers. The more people that are on it, the more people subjected to advertisers.
Sure.
That's the part that's going to be so difficult to explain to like an old boomer. It's like, so when do we start charging the people? They don't even know.
They're like, when do we link this into 365?
Yeah.
When does TikTok come as a 365 subscription? You have to pay $100 a year for it.
I can't get into my Time Warner account. I'm having trouble.
I need to log into my TikTok. I think it's TikToking away. Like, what does that even mean?
The crazy thing was, man, I know this started with the guy on Reddit, but none of this would have happened like if we just didn't have the greatest visionary as a president, man. Like you gotta admit, having a president who's up on all the social media. Oh wait, dude, I'm sorry, man. Sorry, Joe Rogan. I'm totally stealing this. I don't know if you already did it, but so Trump, another Trump debacle. Let's say you and I have real power in life, and I call you from my office where I have the most power. And
so you're in high rise A, and I'm in high rise B. But we could see each other.
No.
This is how I imagine us.
You leave high rise B, and you're like, oh, I got to make a call to Steve, but I'm going to do it in a public diner, and I'm going to talk about all the things that I shouldn't talk about in a public diner where they get recorded and they get re-released. So Trump spoke to another cabinet member, and literally, this is the president of the United States, says, hey, man, forget what everyone else is saying. I tweeted this thing out, got 95,000 retweets. This is a big deal. We got to do something about this. This is very popular. And this is in regards to changing the names of the military bases from their
Confederate generals.
And it's like he based the policy and what the policy should be. I know, as I'm saying out loud, it kind of makes sense, but there's something troubling that the president said, I got 95,000 retweets. This is popular. This thing's got legs. We got to make sure we do it.
You know, Steve, have you ever played the great, wonderful, world-renowned Saints Row 4?
You keep pushing this game on me, but this is the game when they're like running around and flying and stuff, right?
Yeah, no, not a great game.
Okay.
World-renowned, wonderful game. One of the characters that you play with, right? You're in a gang, the Saints Row, and they win the presidency because they're the most popular people on the fucking planet, right? This is what we're living in. We elected a reality TV star as a president and not expect the guy to base his fucking political views off of how many retweets a tweet got.
And before anyone comes for us, we're both registered independents. I lean more right on a lot of issues, but not because I'm a secular conservative. I just, it's my belief system that makes me lean this way. They just happen to believe some of the things, but you'll never get me to believe that like any president to say, hey man, 95,000.
But here's the issue. When Ninja or Shroud release where they're going to stream, it's going to be 250,000 retweets minimum. And Trump's going to look at that and go, holy shit. I should devote the next 15 years of my life to playing Counter-Strike. Maybe we can get big on Twitch, boys. Come on, we're all going.
They banned his Twitch account, man.
It was back, and then it got banned again, and then I think it's back again.
What does he do on there?
He live streams his rallies. It's neat. I've seen it. Bernie Sanders did the same shit.
Really?
The real gem in Twitch right now is Soulja Boy. He's the real gem in Twitch right now.
Soulja Boy is the Forrest Gump of hip hop. It's amazing. I don't mean that. I don't mean that. I don't mean.
Are you saying Soulja Boy is functionally retarded and falls backwards into things that that make him money? Because frankly, I don't think Soulja Boy is a billionaire.
No, he's not a billionaire.
I don't think he started a successful restaurant chain.
No, historically, it's amazing what Soulja Boy's managed to do. So when he first came out, DMX, you used to watch the Boondocks, right?
No, never. We've been over this like 10 times.
That's right. Soulja Boy came out and released that song, right? And then an old rapper by the name of DMX pointed out the obvious, that what a lot of people were probably thinking, given the era of hip hop we were in. He's like, this song is trash. He's like, if you guys don't know that this song is trash, but then he took it too far and started saying a lot of mean stuff about Soulja Boy, who I believe was a young kid at the time,
17.
Soulja Boy's like, oh man, you gonna diss on a little kid, you old bum, blah, blah. And like DMX's career was almost over after that, because people were like, yeah, he is dissing on a kid that made this song.
And then he went and impersonated a federal officer on an airport.
And did no time. This is what I'm talking about.
DMX is great, dude.
But like, this is what I'm talking about. Soulja Boy, then he disappears, comes back, makes more money, comes back. Then he releases a console that was bootleg. No one pressed charges. It's false advertisement at the least, fraud at the high end of it. Makes money off it. Nothing happens. Does a Twitch event. Everyone tunes in. It's like it amazes me, dude.
Do you know what game he was playing on Twitch?
What game was he playing?
RuneScape. He was playing.
This is what I'm talking about.
He was playing old school RuneScape, dude. So okay, admittedly, I was watching him the other day. He's funny, right? He's funny. He's done a few like actually fairly difficult to do things in the game. So I'm like, okay, I give you props for that, right? Like there's a rite of passage of doing Dragon Slayer and Monkey Madness, right? And like the early quests that actually I've done in my account in a new account in the past 2 weeks. His bank is worth billions of in-game currency. And I look at my bank and I'm like logged in and I'm like 500 million. Okay. His is worth billions. And I'm like, dude, I was pissed when I saw that. People just donate him shit.
Game currency billions.
Billions.
What does that mean?
I think a billion coins might be $10,000 US.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Dude, I'm looking at it and I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck? People stop giving him shit.
You know, he probably got gifted that computer he's playing on, that over-spec'd computer that for RuneScape. What's he playing? Does he have his parts list up?
I have no idea. I tuned in for 5 minutes, saw his bank, and then left. He was in fucking Falador, like East Bank, and I was pissed. I was gonna show up and start berating him, but
I gotta start playing RuneScape so I can understand what you're saying. You and Shane get going. You guys start speaking the RuneScape language, and I'm just like, what?
Listen, we started new accounts. You're more than welcome to join us. We're not that far behind. A day's worth of playing behind.
I already feel overwhelmed at the thought of what that would be like.
It would not be very much. I need you to dedicate about 12 hours in one day, and then we'll get you caught up. I'll walk you through Monkey Madness. I'll walk you through Dragon Slayer.
You know how long it's been since I played a 12-hour a day of video games? Even when my wife and kids were in Florida while I was back here by myself, I couldn't bring myself to play the game for more than 4 hours. Like I just started feeling dirty.
Yeah, you know when the last time I played 12 hours in a day was? That was a long time ago.
Yesterday.
No, it's been more than that. It's been like 16 hours a day. 12 hours. 12 hours is a light day.
You should be streaming though. You should. That's what I'm telling you. You might as well just turn the stream on.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I want to edit together like a promo video, like a hype video. I have a bunch of clips I could string together. That would be really good together and see if I could drum up some excitement with that. But
We should reach out to EK and see if he'll do the narration for your promo.
I was gonna do it myself.
That'd be cool.
I could do it. I think I could do it.
Yeah, just go get Soldier Boy to pop in there. Freaking.
He did a freestyle over one of the. So the one thing about RuneScape is it actually has really good in-game music. Like the music is really good for setting the scene for the thing that you're doing. I have had friends that I've convinced to play RuneScape that didn't actually enjoy the game, but would walk around and like explore and do some of the stuff, and they're like, "Holy shit, the music is really good." So he starts freestyling over some of the tracks every once in a while. It's pretty funny.
Can he? I've never actually heard anything else he's ever done. Can he rap?
No, I mean,
that's subjective.
He got famous for it, so.
I mean, so did Fergie.
I don't have a counter to that. I don't have a counter to that statement whatsoever. What happened to Fergie? Where did she go?
Oh, she got her and the Black Eyed Peas parted ways, and last time she was seen, it was at a Clippers game, I believe it was, and she was singing the national anthem, and it did not go well. I'll link you the video afterwards, and it went badly, man. I am going to talk about this one just because here at Talking with the Dad, man, we're a real press entity. We are highly.
We are on the same level of all gas, no brakes.
Exactly. Like we take our journalism integrity very seriously. So that means we got a lot of people working out in the field for us.
A lot.
I just want to give a shout out to. I'm just gonna call you Drew Klima because I don't want to throw your full government out there, but our good buddy Drew Klima sent this over to us. So apparently he's a part of a Doc fan page on Facebook, and it's a lot of members in there. Very active community. Okay. I guess when he calls them Champions Club, I've never, and take this with a grain of salt, I've never seen anything like this before, right? Maybe it's the same in Tim and Ninja's chat rooms and stuff like that, but we're talking about people who are riding with him in spite of whatever the controversy is. But apparently someone claiming to be Doc's dad jumped on, just brief, and we're all grasping at straws trying to figure out what's going on here. But someone claiming to be Doc's dad jumped into the chat there, and not the chat, but jumped into the group and said, "Hey, my son's dealing with some legal stuff right now. He's dealing with the lawyers, but he has not given up on his fans, and he'll be back." And everyone's saying that this. I looked at the guy's name. This is actually Doc's dad's name. One of it's been told to me that it's been verified that it's him. And what does this all mean? I have no clue, Zach. I have no clue. And you know what the thing is, man? We're never gonna know, dude.
The issue is that it's such an easy statement to make because everyone knows that Doc is going through some sort of legal battle right now and can't speak about the situation. So for him to come on and say, "Yeah, he's going through a legal battle right now, but can't speak freely," that's like. It's like dumping fucking a glass of water into the ocean. We know this shit. Give us some more. What happened? I don't care what you have to say, Mr. Beam. You know what I want? I want fucking Doc to come out and call some kid an idiot, and tell little fucking Timmy to go home, tie his shoes, and go outside and run. Stop getting so fat. That's what I want.
Crazy thing is, I was expecting him to make his YouTube premiere any day now after that whole song, and but again, I think it was you or someone else that pointed out, if it really is caught up in a lot of legal discourse right now, he's not going to do anything that's going to endanger his case, which is interesting because we don't know what type. It's obviously, in my mind, it's obvious it's civil at this point. There's no criminal allegations against
criminal.
Doc.
There would be
everywhere.
Public documents, right? That's the one thing I like about our criminal system. It's all public.
Yeah. So that's when we were talking about this with Cash, even though I was a little, I was just unable to articulate that night. This has got to be, why I tried that new beer and it's things stopped making sense about halfway into that episode. I was like, what's happening right now?
Right. Steve's not drinking anymore, which is nice.
Yes, thank God.
He's a less angry person for it.
I'm actually quite furious right now. But the crazy thing, we know, like Zach was saying, we know if it was something that I believe criminal, it would be all over the place. We have access to those type of things, even if it's not completely publicly revealed. We're all just sitting around waiting to see what's happening here. I do think that
some of us are sitting around waiting. I couldn't care less what happens.
I'm sitting around waiting, and it would be interesting though if it doesn't turn out. And this is where I got mad at some of the people on YouTube covering this. So if you're going to cover subjects, at least lead with some integrity. The first thing people do is they piece together like, oh, this guy got let go because of sexual allegations. So this must be the same thing that's happening with him. And then that's out there in the ether. So now we don't know what's going on. You got slashers saying, oh, I know, but I can't say. And then you got the other chick like, I know, and he's done. But in actuality, it could very well just be a money issue. You know, it's going to be something.
Be. I've kind of thought that since the start, but you know, I'm not sure what it is at this point. Frankly, don't care. I thought Doc was the best person on Twitch. I thought that his production quality and his content and all this stuff was the best, but I was also never a fan. You know, I was never a fan of Doc. I would watch him occasionally if I needed something to do. If I was absolutely fucking devout of things to do with my day, I would turn into Doc. Do you think he does
his own production for those videos? He hires someone else?
It was a production team.
Okay. That's amazing, man.
Oh, yeah. No, very, very good. The guy has money. All right. When money buys you good things.
Yeah. Oh, so man. I wish I had money.
Me
Can
too.
I borrow some?
I don't have any money.
The show is on a shoestring budget as it is.
Shoestring? We're piecing shit together to get this up here.
Oh, man. And then, so this. All right.
I'm not going to do one of your sad. This is too good of a show to do one of your sad fucking topics this evening, dude. You know what I want to do? I want to sit here and argue about food for 40 minutes.
There's no argument. I have better taste than you.
No, that is not true. That is not true.
And I am 100. My palate is something that the French write about.
Yeah, how bad it is.
Listen, I'm a sophisticant. You're a slob.
Dude, I know food better than you. Hands down. I could cook better than you.
That doesn't mean you know food better.
The people who know food the best are the people who cook?
That's not true.
That is absolutely true.
No, it's not. Martha Stewart makes all those nasty dishes. She doesn't know anything about food.
You're talking about some washed up old white woman.
Oh, did you see that the internet was going crazy like 2 weeks ago because she released a scantily clad photo of herself?
No, that is not within my feed. I'm not over the age of 45.
Well, she's like what, 80?
70, I would think. I could look that up.
What do you? So listen, we've talked about steaks. We've talked about gourmet restaurants here, but I think it's time we start talking about what the people
79,
really
dude. She's 79.
I told you I was close.
Yeah,
what did I say?
You said 80.
Yeah. Let's talk. So me and Zach are toying around with the idea of finally putting to bed the whole fast food debate. Who has the best menu? Who has the most robust menu? Consistency and texture in their meals, right? Fan favor. You know, I want to enjoy fast food, but I want to know if other people are enjoying fast food. And then we got to discuss, you know, the rebels in the situation because we love fast food. I'm addicted to the stuff. I can't eat it.
I like fast food too.
It's killing me. Literally, there was a point where like my wife pleaded with me when I was in California. She's like, "You have to stop eating this stuff." It's like she's looking at my charges. I seriously ate Carl's Jr. 5 times in one day.
Holy shit! I've done Wendy's twice in a day, and that was too much.
Oh, Wendy's is amazing. The Baconator at 2 a.m. ain't nothing like it. But we got to deal with the rebels in this situation, right? So if we're going to talk about fast food, we also got to talk about food trucks. Now, a lot of people got a lot of strong opinions on food trucks.
Oh, man. Here's the issue. I love food trucks. I do. PAX every year in Boston has incredible food trucks. I've eaten in food trucks in multiple locations. I love food trucks. It's different than fast food.
Yes. And seldomly ever fast.
Correct. Yeah, it's usually fucking 7 hours to wait. You're dead by the time it comes out. I think food trucks are amazing. I do. I think people who start up a food truck and do really well in it are really smart. They're really entrepreneurial. But they're in a different category.
So here's the thing, right? So, I've made no secret about this. Lived in LA for a while. First food truck I've ever been exposed to was obviously a taco truck. The taco trucks in Los Angeles, I think, should get most of the respect for starting this industry. I'm sure someone wearing a hemp dress or something like that is going to argue with me, but the fact is you're wrong, right? It started with taco trucks, and we're talking about, I'm telling you that you can get the type of taco in LA on a taco truck, just blow your mind.
No, I know.
It's just absolutely amazing. But then I started going to a lot of festivals and stuff like that. And I went to one called Afropunk in Brooklyn with my buddy. It was amazing. First time I had the lobster on a roll thing.
Oh, right? A lobster roll.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Had some barbecue from a food truck, and it was actually like real pulled pork, like smoked pulled pork. I'm like, man, this is they have been smoking this for like 3 days apparently.
Yeah.
It's like, you're at a good food truck when the weird guy that owns it comes out and he's like, hey man, what's going on, and starts talking to you about the food while you're eating it, and he gives you that look when you take the bite and he wants a reaction, but you can give him a genuine one if it's good. If it's bad, I just walk away with it. I'm like, all right.
I actually throw the food on the ground and run away.
But that's we got to talk about food trucks. Then if we're gonna talk about food trucks, right, we got to get a little bit more sophisticated. We got to talk about ghetto Chinese food too. I think they deserve to be brought into this topic.
I see. Listen, the list only has room for fast food, so we're thinking about doing a video.
That's the fast food, but we got to do these other ones.
We'll do a whole series of these.
Yeah, we got to stop.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I agree. But right now, what we have in the pipeline is the fast food tier list video. Me and Steve, on multiple occasions, when we were gaming with a dad, now on Talking with a Dad, have had conversations about fast food. And it always comes up nearly every episode. Every single episode. We have to go through and do the tiers, right? That will be maybe our longest video ever.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to put it to rest, right? By the time you're done with this segment, what we hope to do is completely educate you. Right?
And tell you why your opinion is wrong.
Either educate you or possibly have you call the pet team to come drag us out of our houses. I'll give you a small dose, right? Let me tell you why Burger King isn't going to make it that high on this list, right? Burger King.
I'm very anti-Burger King.
Burger King in the late 90s, early 2000s was at its best.
When it had pizza.
Oh, that's right. They had before they introduced the new crisp cut fries, that Burger King was amazing. There was a time when you can get that, the chicken sandwich on the bread.
The long chicken sandwich. Absolutely. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, man. You get that with tomatoes, light mayonnaise on there, extra cheese, bacon. Boom. It was absolutely amazing. But now you get one of those.
See, but now you're throwing variables in there. I can't go in because then that puts the cheeseburger at McDonald's at like number one. Because you throw extra onions, extra pickles, and mac sauce on it, and that cheeseburger is fucking amazing.
You got to do the ultimate mac, though. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's a double cheeseburger with the chicken sandwich smushed together.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about when you do quarter pounder and do the onions, the pickles, the lettuce, and the mac sauce, because the quarter pounder has the better patty than the Big Mac. It's a different patty. I don't know if you knew that or not. It's different meat.
It's peppered too.
Yes, it's better. And you put the mac sauce on that, and that should be the Big Mac.
See, the problem is,
but now you can't throw variables in here. We can't throw variables. We have to look at the menu for what it is. If you didn't know to order as much bacon as you wanted on a Baconator. That's
why I'm surprised that Chick-fil-A is going to be in this conversation, because really there's only a few things you can get at Chick-fil-A.
But
so you think
the things that they do are incredible.
Do very well.
Chick-fil-A is my personal favorite. I've never had their breakfast. Chick-fil-A is my personal favorite.
I would say Carl's Jr. is on that list.
You can only have one personal favorite. That's the rules. That's always been the rules. It always will be the rules. Chick-fil-A.
Listen, we're not going to give away too much of the show, man. Last thing we want to talk about. This is not depressing, but it is funny, right? It is funny. Zach, do you think that you will die of starvation before they reissue the STEM packages for these poor people?
No.
Closing thoughts. Thoughts. No? You think they get it done in 2 weeks? What do you think?
Do you think I'm going to starve in 2 weeks? Do you know something I don't know? I think I'll be okay.
Listen, man, as long as the government keeps going this way, let's take care of TikTok, but let's not take care of the citizens.
Yeah. This is a fucked episode on political views.
No, we're not going to get into it. I wanted to keep it upbeat. I told you that we decided to keep it upbeat. We will. That's
not upbeat. You asked me if I was going to starve, Steve. That's my biggest fear. And spiders.
Why are you so scared of spiders?
I don't know. I beat one up with a fucking wiffle ball bat today.
You know what I think is extremely stupid, and this has nothing to do with spiders. I just got to speak on this, man. It's because it's making me angry, man. I watched one of those stupid shows where the cook is a really good cook, and he makes really, really top shelf meals, really good quality of meat, really good presentation, good flavor combination, all that stuff. And then some moron comes along and says, "Why don't we throw some weed in there?" And see, I'm like, have you watched any of those cooking shows on Vice where they cook with weed?
No, but it's probably hilarious.
It's hilarious to a point, and then I keep thinking that like someone's butchering a good meal.
Yeah,
right? Because like
it's not enhancing any flavor.
Yeah, it just tastes like weed. Like can we just be honest about this? Like I was watching all these hipsters, sophisticates sitting around, and they're like, "Oh, it has such a full body." I'm like, good and god dang well, that just tastes like a big piece of weed. I don't care how good it looks. Like,
yeah, I have not heard of this. Maybe I have. Kersley is like Action Bronson in this.
No, his show is amazing. You're talking about F that tastes good or whatever. That
maybe
show,
I've heard about it. That's on Vice too, isn't it?
Yes, the deepest conversation I've ever heard about dinosaurs, aliens. That show,
holy
amazing
shit!
And like the rebuttal that he had for someone that didn't believe in dinosaurs, intellectually deep. He literally guy, and he was like, "F anyone that doesn't believe in dinosaurs," and I'm like, makes perfect sense.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing, man. I'm glad that that's the way we're going to end our show this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm going to call it here. I think that was a good end to the show. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, our website, Anchor, iTunes, podcasting, Google Podcast, Spotify. Holy shit, dude. If we get anything more, we're going to need someone to say it for us because I'm running out of breath. All at Talking with a Dad, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's episode. This episode, not even this week's episode. We do two now. Holy shit. We got to go, ladies and gentlemen.